The world of Vera 9 was quiet, almost too quiet. Its skies were pale, and its winds carried a soft hum that seemed to touch the mind more than the ears. Beneath its surface lay the Velvet Crypt, a vast underground sanctuary, whispered about in both human and alien legends. It was said to hold the memories of ancient civilizations, preserved in walls that glowed with a gentle, velvet-like sheen. Aaron, a young human explorer, had come here alone. He walked carefully through the narrow tunnels, his boots echoing softly. Every step revealed walls of smooth stone that seemed to breathe with a soft light. The glow pulsed as if the crypt itself were alive, welcoming him or perhaps warning him. Aaron felt a thrill of curiosity mixed with caution. This place was unlike anything he had seen on Earth or during his travels in space. He paused, running his fingers over a smooth section of wall. The stone was soft, almost like velvet, and warmth seemed to seep into his palms. A soft hum ran through the walls as his touch lingered. Aaron's heart quickened. How could a place so quiet feel so alive? Suddenly, a soft voice spoke. "You feel it too, don't you?" Aaron jumped, spinning around. Standing a few feet away was a being unlike any he had met. She had smooth, pale blue skin, eyes that shimmered like liquid silver, and long, flowing hair that moved as if underwater. She wore simple robes that shimmered with faint light, and her expression was calm but curious. Yes," Aaron replied, his voice low. "I didn't think anyone else was here." "I have been here for years," she said, smiling slightly. "I study the crypt. My name is Lyra." "Aaron," he said, offering a hand. "I'm an explorer. I study old civilizations." Lyra nodded and gestured to the glowing walls. "You can feel it, can't you? The memories. The emotions." Aaron tilted his head, intrigued. "Emotions?" "Yes," she said. "These walls are not just stone. They carry the feelings of those who came before. Joy, fear, hope, even love. And they respond differently to different beings. Humans are special." She looked at him with a mixture of admiration and curiosity. "Your touch brings a brightness I have never seen before." Aaron felt a warmth spread through his chest. He had always been proud of humanity's creativity and resilience, but hearing it recognized in this way, it was new. I just wanted to learn. I didn't know my hands could do that." Lyra chuckled softly. "You learn by doing. And sometimes, by feeling." For hours, they walked together through the crypt. Aaron traced the glowing lines on the walls while Lyra pointed out symbols that shifted with emotion. Every time he touched a section, it glimmered brighter, and Lyra's eyes sparkled with wonder. "This is amazing," Aaron said, laughing. "It's like the walls are alive. Or, they can sense us." "They do," Lyra said quietly. "They respond to the heart, not the mind. That is why humans are so fascinating here. You bring something unique. Something pure." Aaron felt a strange connection to Lyra. She was so calm, so wise, and yet she seemed to share in his excitement. He had traveled across stars and seen wonders, but nothing felt as alive as this place or as comforting. As the light shifted around them, they paused in a small chamber. The walls glowed softly, reflecting in their eyes. Silence stretched between them, but it was not empty. It was filled with curiosity, wonder, and the faintest spark of something neither fully understood yet. Finally, Aaron spoke. "I don't know why, but I feel like I've been waiting to find this place, and you." Lyra's silver eyes softened. Perhaps the crypt chooses who it wants to meet. Or perhaps it has been waiting for someone like you. For a moment, they simply stood there, surrounded by glowing velvet walls, feeling the pulse of the crypt and the quiet thrill of discovery. Aaron realized that this was no ordinary mission. He had entered the velvet crypt seeking knowledge, but already, he had found something more, a connection, fragile yet undeniable, that would guide the journey ahead. The hum of the crypt seemed to grow stronger, echoing their unspoken promise, that together, they might uncover the secrets of the past, and perhaps, something of themselves as well. The next day, Aaron returned to the velvet crypt before dawn. The pale light of Vera 9 barely touched the surface, but below, the crypt glimmered like a hidden world of stars. Aaron's heart beat faster as he walked through the familiar tunnels, thinking of Lyra. He had never met anyone like her. Calm, wise, and full of quiet strength, she made the glowing walls feel warmer. When he reached the central chamber, Lyra was already there. She moved gently, her fingers tracing the symbols on the walls. The light seemed to respond to her touch, shifting in patterns Aaron could hardly understand. Yet he noticed that when he placed his hand on the same wall, the glow became brighter, stronger, almost like it recognized him. "You're early," Lyra said, smiling without looking up. "I wanted to see it again," Aaron said. "And, to see you." She looked at him then, her silver eyes reflecting the soft glow. "I am glad. There is much to study, and it is better with another mind. Or perhaps, another heart." Aaron's cheeks warmed. He had traveled across planets, studied ancient ruins, and faced dangers beyond imagination, but hearing her speak like this made the world outside feel distant. Here, in the crypt, everything mattered: the walls, the stones, the light, and her presence. They moved side by side, exploring deeper corridors. Lyra explained how the symbols reacted not only to touch but to emotion. "The crypt carries memories of those who lived here long ago," she said. "It remembers feelings more than facts. Happiness, sadness, hope, even love. Each being leaves a mark." Aaron reached for a glowing symbol and pressed gently. The wall shimmered with soft light, brighter than before. Lyra's eyes widened. "See? Humans create light in ways we cannot predict," she said. "You carry something different, something alive." Aaron shook his head, laughing softly. "I don't understand it. I'm just touching a wall." "You are more than just a hand," Lyra replied. "You bring a part of your soul. That is what makes this place respond." For hours, they worked together. Aaron traced patterns he had seen in other ruins, while Lyra guided him in understanding the crypt's emotions. They laughed when the light flickered unexpectedly, and they paused in quiet wonder when the walls glowed brighter than the stars outside. During one pause, they sat on a soft patch of velvet-like floor. The glow bathed them in gentle warmth. Aaron watched Lyra's face as she studied the walls, her hair catching the light. She looked up at him, and for a moment, silence stretched between them, not empty, but full of curiosity and trust. "I've never seen anything like this," Aaron said. "Back on Earth, ruins are just stones. Here, it feels alive. And you make it feel alive, too." Lyra's lips curved into a gentle smile. "I have watched the crypt for years, yet it has never responded like this to me alone. Perhaps it is because you are here. Perhaps it is because we share the light together." Aaron reached out, letting his hand hover above hers. The wall pulsed softly beneath their touch, brighter than before. A warmth spread through him, not from the stone, but from being near her. You think the crypt chooses who can feel it? He asked. I do, she said quietly. It chooses those who can understand its heart. And sometimes, it brings them together. Aaron laughed softly. So, the crypt brought me to you. It seems so, Lyra said, her eyes shimmering. And perhaps we are meant to learn something together. Not just about the past, but about each other. As the day passed, Aaron and Lyra continued to explore. Every wall, every symbol, every glow became a story they shared. Aaron spoke of Earth, its oceans, forests, and music. Lyra listened with fascination, her hand occasionally brushing his as they studied the patterns. In return, she told him of her people, of how they believed the crypt held the emotions of those who had shaped the world long before. By the time the light began to fade, both humans and aliens would have been far away, but in the velvet crypt, time seemed to bend. They stood together, hands brushing, hearts quietly aware of a bond forming. The crypt hummed around them, gentle and steady, as if approving. Aaron realized something important: this was not just an exploration of a ruin. This was a discovery of connection, trust, and perhaps, the beginning of something much deeper. And as he left the crypt that evening, he knew he would return not just for the knowledge of the past, but for the presence of Lyra, whose quiet strength had begun to light his own heart. The velvet crypt had grown familiar to Aaron, yet each visit revealed something new. The walls, soft and glowing, seemed to respond differently depending on his mood. Today, he felt a quiet excitement, not just for the stones, but for the presence of Lyra. When he arrived, Lyra was already tracing patterns along the walls, her silver eyes shining with concentration. She looked up at him, and for a moment, the crypt felt like it had paused just for them. "Good morning," Aaron said, smiling. "Did the crypt wait for me again?" "It may have," Lyra replied, her voice calm yet playful. "Or perhaps it simply wished for two hearts to meet." Aaron felt warmth rise to his cheeks. He had explored countless ruins across many worlds, but the idea that a place could connect not only people but their feelings, that was new. They moved together deeper into the tunnels. Lyra pointed out symbols that pulsed with faint light, explaining that each pattern represented an emotion left behind by those who had walked the crypt long ago. "Happiness, courage, hope, sometimes even longing," she said softly. "And it seems that humans leave a very strong mark." Aaron knelt, touching a small glowing symbol. It brightened immediately, stronger than he expected. "It reacts to me," he said, a note of wonder in his voice. "Why?" Lyra crouched beside him. "Because you bring your heart into it. Humans carry emotions that resonate in ways the crypt has not seen for many cycles. It remembers your touch differently." They spent hours sharing thoughts while studying the glowing patterns. Aaron told her about Earth, the sound of the ocean, the vast skies, the feeling of walking barefoot in warm grass. Lyra listened with rapt attention, her eyes reflecting the gentle light. She described her own memories, floating in silent crystal lakes, watching her people sing with the stars above, feeling the vibrations of the world through every living being. At one point, they paused in a small chamber where the walls curved like a protective embrace. The glow shifted softly, creating patterns around them that seemed almost like a dance of light. "I never thought walls could speak," Aaron said. "Yet here, I feel like they are telling stories, about everything that ever happened, and everyone who felt anything." "That is the magic of the crypt," Lyra said. "It holds the echoes of life, even after life has passed. And sometimes, it allows new stories to begin." Their conversation grew quieter, more personal. Aaron found himself sharing feelings he rarely spoke aloud, the loneliness of being far from Earth, the hope that exploration would mean more than discovery, and the secret joy he felt when he touched the glowing stones. Lyra listened without interruption, her presence gentle, reassuring. In turn, Lyra spoke of her duties and her people's traditions. She confessed that while the crypt was a place of learning, it could also be isolating. Few outsiders were allowed, and fewer still could understand its depth. "When you are here, Aaron," she said softly, "I feel lighter. It is easier to share. Easier to be myself." Aaron felt a quiet thrill. This was no ordinary connection. The crypt had brought them together, but it was their shared curiosity, trust, and openness that made the bond grow. For a long moment, they simply sat side by side, hands nearly touching. The glow of the walls reflected in their eyes, and the crypt hummed gently around them. The warmth was not just from the stone, it was from the understanding that had begun to blossom between them. Finally, Aaron broke the silence. I think I like being here with you," he admitted, his voice careful but honest. Lyra's silver eyes softened. "And I enjoy your presence, Aaron. You bring life to this place in a way that is rare, and beautiful." The words hung between them, quiet but powerful. No one else was here to witness it, the crypt held only them, their shared laughter, and the soft pulse of light. It was a small, fragile moment, but it mattered more than anything Aaron had experienced in his travels. As they explored a narrow corridor together, a faint, unexpected glow lit the way ahead. Aaron looked at Lyra, realizing that they were not just exploring the crypt, they were exploring each other, one story, one emotion at a time. The day ended with them stepping into a wider chamber, the walls pulsing like a heartbeat. They stood close, feeling the subtle warmth in the air. The crypt seemed to approve, its soft hum echoing like a quiet promise, that this connection, born of curiosity and shared discovery, might grow into something lasting, something remarkable. And as Aaron left the crypt that evening, he carried more than knowledge. He carried the start of a bond, delicate, luminous, and full of the quiet thrill of possibility. The velvet crypt had never felt more alive to Aaron than it did that morning. The walls glowed softly, guiding him through familiar passages. He moved quickly, eager to meet Lyra, who had become not just a guide but a companion in this quiet underground world. But when he reached the main chamber, something felt different. Lyra was there, but she looked tense. Her silver eyes were fixed on the far end of the hall, where a group of beings, other scholars from her people, had just arrived. Their robes shimmered with authority, and their expressions were stern. "Aaron," Lyra said quietly, her voice almost a whisper. I need to explain." Before he could respond, one of the visiting scholars spoke. "Lyra, you know the rules. Outsiders are not allowed this close to the heart of the crypt. Humans cannot remain here for long. You must send him away." Aaron felt a strange heaviness. The warmth of the crypt seemed to dim, the soft glow flickering as if reflecting the tension. "I'm just studying," he said, trying to keep his voice calm. "I mean no harm." The scholar shook her head. "It is not about harm. It is about balance. The crypt protects the emotions of our ancestors. Too much human influence may disturb it. It is our duty to preserve it." Lyra looked torn. She stepped closer to Aaron, placing a hand on his arm. "I did not expect them so soon," she said softly. I I want you here, but my people, they cannot allow it. They fear what may happen." Aaron felt a mix of disappointment and understanding. He had known that humans were outsiders in this alien world, but he had hoped that the connection he shared with Lyra might bridge the gap. Now, it seemed fragile, threatened by rules he could not change. "I understand," he said quietly. "I don't want to cause trouble for you." Lyra's eyes shimmered with emotion. "It is not just about rules. It is loyalty. I must obey my people. But I do not wish to lose what we have found here." The group of scholars began to move deeper into the crypt, inspecting the walls, touching symbols, and whispering among themselves. Aaron watched as the glowing patterns reacted differently when his hands passed over them. The brightness dimmed slightly, as if the crypt itself were sensing the unease. "I think, the crypt knows," Lyra said, her voice low. "It reacts to tension, to fear, to doubt. And right now, it feels uncertain." Aaron stepped closer to her. "Lyra, we have shared something important. Doesn't that count?" She looked at him, her silver eyes softening. "It does," she admitted. "But my people, they have traditions. I cannot ignore them. And yet, when you are here, the crypt feels alive in a way it never has before. You make it brighter. You make me brighter." Aaron felt a surge of determination. "Then we will find a way to work together. I don't want to leave, and I don't want you to lose what you feel for me either." Lyra smiled faintly, though her worry was still clear. "I wish it were that simple. But the crypt is older than both of us. Its rules are tied to duty and balance. If we defy it, there may be consequences I cannot control." For a long moment, they stood in silence. The soft glow of the walls reflected their unspoken thoughts. Aaron felt frustration, yes, but also a quiet admiration for Lyra. She cared deeply for her people, yet she also valued the connection they had discovered. That balance of duty and emotion made her remarkable. Finally, Lyra reached out, touching his hand. "Let us continue to explore, quietly, for now. We will learn what we can without causing conflict. And perhaps, in time, the crypt will guide us." Aaron nodded. He understood. The day had brought a challenge, yes, but it had also reminded him why this place and Lyra mattered. The crypt was more than stone and light, it was a test of patience, trust, and understanding. And he was ready to face it, for her, for the connection they shared, and for the mysteries that still awaited. As they moved deeper into the tunnels together, the glow of the walls seemed to respond slowly, gently, as if acknowledging their effort. The crypt had presented its first real challenge, but it also offered hope, that even amidst rules and fear, the bond between a human and an alien could endure. For Aaron, the day ended not in defeat but in quiet determination. The crypt still pulsed with possibility, and so did his heart. And he knew, somehow, that the rift in the stone was not the end, it was simply the beginning of a journey they would face together. The velvet crypt had grown quieter since the arrival of Lyra's people. Aaron and Lyra moved carefully through its glowing corridors, aware that their actions were being watched. Yet, despite the tension, their curiosity remained stronger than fear. Together, they had begun to notice patterns that no scholar had yet deciphered, symbols that seemed to pulse differently when a human and an alien touched them together. "Do you feel that?" Aaron asked softly, kneeling beside a glowing pattern etched into the stone floor. Lyra leaned closer. "Yes," she whispered. "It is unlike anything I have felt before. The light shifts, almost as if it wants us to follow." They traced the symbols with their fingers, and slowly, the walls shifted. A narrow passage opened where before there had been only stone. The glow from the walls intensified, guiding them forward. Aaron glanced at Lyra. "Do you think it's safe?" Lyra nodded, her expression calm but excited. "The crypt has led us here. It may be showing us a secret it has kept for centuries." Together, they stepped into the passage. It twisted and curved, the glowing walls guiding their way. Every step felt like a conversation between them and the crypt. The patterns responded to their touch, flickering in rhythm with their heartbeats. Aaron could feel the excitement building. He had explored countless ruins, but never had a place felt so alive, so aware of him. At last, they reached a chamber hidden deep beneath the surface. The air was warmer, the glow brighter, and in the center of the room rested a heart-like crystal, hovering slightly above a pedestal. It shimmered with a light that responded to their movements, brighter when they drew near together, dimmer when they moved apart. Lyra stepped closer, eyes wide. This is the core," she breathed. "I have only read about it in ancient texts. No outsider has ever seen it." Aaron approached, placing his hand near the crystal. It pulsed gently, as if acknowledging his presence. Then, instinctively, he reached out to touch Lyra's hand. The moment their fingers met above the crystal, it glowed brighter than ever, flooding the chamber with warm, gentle light. "It reacts to both of us," Aaron said in wonder. "It wants us here, together." Lyra nodded, eyes shining. The crypt was never meant for only one kind of being. It was created to unite, not separate. And now, it is showing us that humans and my people can be part of the same story. They spent hours examining the chamber, tracing the crystal's pulses, learning how their emotions affected the glow. Each touch, each laugh, each shared thought seemed to strengthen the light, as if the crystal absorbed not only their curiosity but their trust, their respect, and their connection. "This is incredible," Aaron said. "It's like the crypt has been waiting for us." "Perhaps it has," Lyra replied softly. "It has waited for two hearts willing to understand each other. Not just humans and aliens, but individuals. And now it responds." The chamber seemed to hum with quiet energy. The crystal's glow reflected in their eyes, and in that light, they felt something extraordinary. It was not just wonder or knowledge, it was understanding. They realized that their bond was not only personal but symbolic, a bridge between two worlds, between tradition and discovery, between fear and trust. At one point, Aaron looked at Lyra. "Do you think we are ready for what this means?" She smiled, her silver eyes bright. "We will learn. Together. The crypt has given us the chance. Now it is up to us to honor it." The moment felt sacred, a quiet promise shared between them. Outside the chamber, the crypt was still vast and mysterious, but within this hidden heart, they had found a secret that belonged to both of them. A secret that recognized their presence, their differences, and their connection. As they left the hidden chamber, the glow faded gently, but the warmth lingered in their hands. They knew that the crypt had changed. Not just the walls, not just the stones, but them. They had discovered a place where human curiosity and alien wisdom could coexist, where hearts from different worlds could leave their mark. Aaron and Lyra walked back through the corridors, silent but filled with quiet excitement. They had faced challenges, yes, but they had also uncovered something precious, a discovery that would bring them closer, inspire trust, and illuminate the path ahead. For Aaron, the hidden chamber was more than a discovery of the crypt's past. It was a promise of the future, that even in a world of rules and separation, connection could thrive, and hearts that were willing could find a light brighter than any stone. The glow of the velvet crypt felt warmer that evening, almost like it sensed the quiet anticipation in the air. Aaron and Lyra walked side by side through the familiar corridors, their hands brushing occasionally, sending small sparks of energy through both of them. The hidden chamber and its heart-like crystal had changed something between them. The walls no longer felt like mere stone, they felt like witnesses to a growing connection, something delicate yet undeniable. "Do you ever wonder," Aaron began slowly, "why the crypt chose to reveal the hidden chamber to us?" Lyra glanced at him, her silver eyes reflecting the soft light. "I think it knew we could understand it. Not just with our minds, but with our hearts. We were willing to learn, and to trust each other." Aaron nodded, feeling the truth of her words. "I've explored so many ruins, Lyra. I've seen wonders, mysteries, but nothing has felt like this. Nothing has felt alive." "Because it is alive," Lyra said softly. "And because we are alive. And together, we make it shine." They reached a quiet chamber, one they had visited before, where the walls formed a gentle curve around them. The glow here was soft, intimate. They sat side by side, their hands almost touching on the smooth velvet-like floor. Neither spoke at first, the hum of the crypt filling the silence. Finally, Aaron broke it. "Lyra, I need to tell you something." She turned toward him slightly, curiosity in her gaze. "What is it?" He took a deep breath. "Being here, with you, it feels, more than discovery. I feel, connected to you. Not just to the crypt, but to you." Lyra's eyes widened slightly, but she did not pull away. "Aaron." She paused, collecting her thoughts. "I feel it too. I have felt it for some time, but I worried. My people, the rules, everything we've faced. And yet, being with you feels right." A gentle warmth spread between them, like the crypt itself was embracing their words. Aaron reached out slowly, taking her hand in his. The walls pulsed in response, brighter than ever, as if the light recognized the bond forming in that simple touch. "I promise," he said quietly, "I will never make you choose between your people and me. I don't want to force you. I only want to be here, with you, learning together." Lyra squeezed his hand gently. "And I promise. I will never let the rules take away what we have discovered. I cannot predict the future, Aaron, but I can choose to trust the bond we share. That is what matters now." They sat in silence for a few moments, the glow of the walls reflecting in their eyes, the soft pulse of the crypt echoing their shared heartbeat. The trust, respect, and curiosity that had drawn them together now felt like a gentle but steady flame. Aaron finally smiled. "I think, the crypt was right. It brought us here together. And it gave us something that is, ours. Something beyond rules, beyond walls, beyond fear." Lyra smiled too, a quiet, shining expression. "Yes. Something that belongs to both of us. And we must protect it, nurture it, like the light of the hidden chamber." As the day turned to night, the crypt seemed to hum a gentle rhythm around them. Every glow, every pulse, every shimmer of light felt like it acknowledged the bond they had formed. The hidden chamber had shown them a secret, but this moment had revealed the truth. Their hearts were ready to face the world together, whatever it might bring. They rose and continued through the tunnels, hands still brushing, sometimes clasped together. The crypt no longer felt intimidating or distant, it felt like a companion, a silent witness to the journey of two beings from different worlds discovering trust, connection, and love. Before leaving for the surface, Aaron stopped at a familiar wall, placing his hand on it. Lyra mirrored him, her hand touching his above the glowing stone. The wall shimmered, the light responding to their unity. "It feels stronger now," Aaron said softly. "Yes," Lyra replied. "Because we are stronger now. Together." For the first time, they felt completely certain of one thing: the bond they shared was real. The crypt had revealed its secrets, but it had also shown them something far greater. Not just knowledge, not just discovery, but trust, understanding, and the quiet, undeniable joy of two hearts choosing to walk side by side through the unknown. And as they left the velvet crypt that night, the soft hum of the glowing walls seemed to follow them, carrying a promise that their connection, fragile yet powerful, was only beginning to grow. The velvet crypt glowed brighter than ever as Aaron and Lyra returned. This time, they were not merely explorers or students of history, they were partners in discovery, united by trust, curiosity, and a bond that neither time nor distance could break. The hidden chamber, with its heart like crystal, had shown them the crypt's deepest secret, that the past, the present, and even the future could be shared between beings from different worlds. "Do you think it will always glow like this?" Aaron asked, his eyes reflecting the gentle light. Lyra smiled, her silver eyes shimmering. "It glows for those who understand it. And we understand it together." They stepped into the chamber, their hands intertwined. The heart crystal floated above the pedestal, radiating warmth and light. As they approached, it pulsed more brightly, as if recognizing their presence. The crypt had changed them as much as they had changed it. Outside, the scholars who had once questioned Aaron's presence had gathered, observing silently. Lyra took a deep breath and spoke, her voice calm but filled with quiet authority. "The crypt is not meant for separation. It was created to unite different beings. We have seen it respond to both human and alien together. Its message is clear: knowledge, trust, and connection belong to all." The visiting scholars exchanged glances. Slowly, their expressions softened. One stepped forward, placing a hand on a glowing wall. The light responded, brighter than before, and the tension in the chamber eased. It was a moment of understanding, proof that boundaries could be bridged, that differences could inspire harmony instead of fear. Aaron squeezed Lyra's hand. "It feels right," he said. "All of this. Together." "Yes," Lyra replied, her voice soft. "It feels like the crypt itself approves of what we have found. And it is not just the walls or the stones, it is us. We carry that light now." They spent the day sharing their discoveries with the scholars, explaining how the crypt responded to combined touch, shared emotion, and mutual respect. The walls glowed brighter with each explanation, almost like the ancient builders themselves were watching, proud that their message had finally been understood. As the sun set above Vera 9, Aaron and Lyra returned to the heart chamber alone. The glow wrapped around them like a gentle embrace. For the first time, the crypt felt less like a place to study and more like a sanctuary, a living space that reflected their bond. "Aaron," Lyra said, turning to him, "we have learned so much about the crypt, but I think we have learned even more about ourselves. About trust, patience, and connection." Aaron nodded. "And about humans," he added, smiling. "I think we have something special, something that even the crypt has recognized. Something worth protecting." Lyra's hand moved to his cheek, gentle and warm. "Yes. And I choose to protect it with you." In the quiet glow of the chamber, they finally allowed themselves to embrace fully. The heart crystal pulsed steadily, its light surrounding them like a cocoon. Aaron felt a wave of joy, not only for the discoveries they had made but for the journey they had taken together. For the first time, he understood what the crypt meant when it responded to emotions. It was not just about knowledge, it was about hearts, about connection, about the pure ecstasy of being understood and accepted. They stepped back, still holding hands, gazing at the heart crystal. "It is beautiful," Aaron said. "Yes," Lyra agreed. "But nothing is more beautiful than what we have found in each other." The scholars who had remained nearby began to nod in understanding, their earlier doubts replaced with respect. The crypt had become more than a sanctuary for the past, it was now a symbol of unity, trust, and shared discovery. Humans and aliens, past and present, curiosity and wisdom all connected in a single, glowing heartbeat. Aaron and Lyra lingered a little longer, knowing that their journey was far from over, but confident that together they could face anything. The crypt had given them a gift, the knowledge that connection could transcend worlds, that hearts willing to understand could light the darkest corners, and that even in silence, there could be joy and ecstasy. Finally, they left the hidden chamber hand in hand, walking through the softly glowing corridors. Every step felt lighter, every glow warmer. The velvet crypt had revealed its secrets, but the greatest secret of all was theirs, the bond they shared, nurtured by trust, curiosity, and a love that crossed worlds. And as they emerged into the soft light of Vera 9, they paused to look back at the crypt. It pulsed gently, as if waving them forward into the future. Together, they smiled, hearts full, knowing that they had discovered something far more enduring than any treasure, each other.